can you give us like a brief breakdown of your analysis on Candace as she's going after this Erika Kirk situation, and new information came up? I'm going to start with this tweet you put out here, and I know there's a video, but I could play a clip, or you can just tell us. But this is what's going on right now, and I want just kind of talk us through this, maybe. But Candace Owen reveals that the Egyptian military aircraft present in Utah that she believed was surveilling Kirk on the day he was killed, and had been for some time, was actually surveilling Erika Kirk since 2022. Despite Owens providing proof, Erika has denied the allegations. What's really going on here? Can you walk us through what's happening?
Yeah, man. So Candace broke the news a while ago that there was this random Egyptian plane that was present in Utah the day that Charlie Kirk was killed, which is already weird in and of itself because it was like a military plane. So once she had said that, one of her audience members actually started doing some research into the plane numbers and all that good stuff, and discovered there isn't just one plane. Oh no, the audience member discovered that this plane had seemingly been following Charlie, and that there was not just one, but there was actually two, and they were both military planes. And so after Candace went back and did more research, she cross-referenced Erika's flights with the movements of these planes and discovered that the planes weren't following Charlie, they were following Erika, and had been doing so since 2022. And that the morning of that Charlie Kirk was killed, one of them that was surveilling did take off, but the transponder for the other one turned on and then turned off. Yeah, which is bizarre as shit. Like, why are there two Egyptian military planes following Erika Kirk of all people? Like, and it goes back to this whole the connection between her family and Israel, the lies upon lies. Like, Erika herself has been lying. Like, she kept pretending like her mom was raising her by herself and her dad was never part of her life. But then she slipped up and actually admitted that her dad moved to Arizona to be a part of her life. And her mom and her dad started a company together after they were divorced, supposedly. It's the most, and like, talking about at the top, they both ran the company together. The Erika Kirk rabbit hole is scary as shit, because at the end of the day, bro, she couldn't even muster up crocodile tears for my guy. Yeah. I don't like Charlie Kirk, but like, the fact of the matter remains, guys, Candace Owens, you can feel how you want to feel about her, but she showed the proof that Charlie basically gave the middle finger to Israel before he was killed. She showed the text messages. She showed the problem with the gaps and where money was going and coming from in TPUSA. She showed where Charlie said, I'm going to investigate where the hell this money's coming from. Like, at the end of the day, I don't know if it was just Israel, because like, in order for something like this to have had happened, the U.S. would have had to be okay with it. Sure, and the problem with all of this is that the FBI doesn't give a damn. It's basically what it seems like. Yeah, they're not doing enough to invest. They want to give him a street name. They want to give him a day, but they don't want to actually investigate the actual murder. And when you start giving people street names and days instead of actually doing an investigation, it reeks of an assassination. And
don't forget the mural in Tel Aviv. They had that one ready in 24 hours. That one was ready. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking bro, bizarre. Like, there's so much shit that hasn't added up there's so much shit that's adding up too well.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's too many coincidences. Like, with Erika Kirk, the Romanian angel shit, which that is crazy. Like, she thanked the man who was responsible and investigated for running a child brothel on a NATO base. She personally thanked this man in a video for his participation in her Romanian Angels program, a program that couldn't have been run without NATO's involvement. Like, dog, it's crazy, because I'm like, how the hell did she get so much access to the military? And then you find out who her damn mom is, because she was making it seem like her mom was like this innocent pageant mom who was just, no, like, she wasn't. She is a military contract. That's the whole reason she moved to Arizona. And then you go back to this like this is the part that's a little bit probably the most conspiratorial part about the whole thing is I personally believe that there's a good chance that Erika was an MK Ultra victim. Because she was at ASU, but she was I believe she was at Notre Dame. Was at Notre Dame at one point playing basketball, if I'm not mistaken. One of the schools she was playing basketball, but she was at ASU at one point. And it just never, and it was like, I guess they didn't expect anybody to figure it out, but they accidentally mentioned it. And ASU is one of the MK Ultra hotspots. Yeah. Arizona in general is, but ASU specifically was used to research.
So,
and if her mom is part of the DOD, as much as we think as much as we know she is, you tell me that she wouldn't have her put her daughter through that program?
I mean, this investigation, every bullet point you just went through, Niko. I mean, these are things that we know, and you mentioned the FBI. Kash Patel is never going to look into any of this. His job is to do the opposite. His job is to suppress this information, bully people who are asking these questions, and then try and steer the court for gag orders against people asking these questions. Not just Candace. Obviously, she has a massive following, but you have people that were there, people that have, lower on the echelon as far as engagement with people. They're also asking questions, and they're being threatened. We're seeing footage from cell phones disappearing. We're seeing people that still trust the FBI, and they say, hey, I have some information. I'd like to give it over to Kash Patel. And look what happens to them. They never see it again. And so this is why, Candace, people ask us all the time, why do you think? Because they're looking for a reason to stop, Candace Owen from being taken seriously on this issue. Like, well, why does she is the only one that has this stuff? Well, people are sending her stuff because they trust her more than they trust Kash.
And she said on various occasions, like, no, they actually tried to send this to the fucking FBI. The FBI didn't do anything with it.
They don't want it. Yeah.
Basically, she's like, yeah, they're trying.
Yeah. Where are you going to go? So I guess we're not at the end of this by any means. There's a lot more to go through here, but I just want to, put that out there that I like, you're reporting on this, that we need to remember principle, right? Because we talk about that with the other topics on the show here too. But it's about, look, we can disagree with Candace on a bunch of other stuff. We certainly can disagree with Charlie Kirk and the things he, we certainly didn't like that he said or represented, but make no mistake that we're talking about this assassination and things not lining up. We need to align with people that are doing actual journalism right now. And that's my take on it. I know, Pasta, you've been quiet on this. I know we've had debate on this before, but anything on your end, Pasta, that you've seen since we used to talk about this at the early stages? Has anything changed in your mind on this at all?
Not really. I think I think Niko hit it on the nose that, Israel couldn't have done this by themselves. Maybe they could have, but I don't think they did. I don't think they're the ones who had to gain the most. I think the ones who had the most to gain was the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like this was really divisive. People got really emotional about Charlie Kirk. There was a pitcher for the Dodgers who dedicated the World Series to Charlie Kirk. In fact, they let him take off a game to go to Charlie's funeral. You know what I'm saying? He had it on his hat. So this is part of that whole divide and conquer thing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just think multiple groups working here,
So along the lines of what Pasta said, I said, yo, it's like that shit. It is nowhere near like people had right before Charlie had died, right? People were figuring out Israel is the problem, right? Like the problem. People were coming out against Trump for what he did in Iran. And they were coming out against him specifically for threatening Iran further. Like also kissing Netanyahu's ass. Also, the Epstein files was constantly a topic. Also, you remember Alexandrovich?
Who?
Tom Alexander, the guy who got caught in the fucking pedophile raid in
Vegas? Yes. Him up and threw him. Yeah.
And the U.S. helped him escape.
Yes. And he was doing surveillance for, I guess, was for Elon or something, right? Was he doing?
I don't know, but I do know that he was handpicked by Netanyahu for his government job and did not lose that job.
Handpicked.
So
the lady let him. The lady helped him. I can't remember that lady, the Jewish lady, the Israeli lady in Vegas.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but I just remember. It was like I remember for the first time, I'm like, oh shit, are people figuring it out finally? I kept seeing so many people agreeing with one another. And people were criticizing MAGA, and that MAGA economy for the first time was breaking. They were like, this is a problem. And most importantly, people were figuring out like, nope, Israel's a fucking problem in Palestine. It is Israel. It is. I don't care how I feel about Hamas anymore. I don't care how I feel about the Palestinians. I don't care how I feel about Christianity or Islam. No, Israel's a problem because they just try to drag us into this war with Iran. And everyone knows that they were lying, and yet we still did it. So out of nowhere, when everyone was finally about to agree on everything, at least the most important issues, because we can all get to the other shit once we figure that issue out, boom, Charles gone. And now we're all then. And what was the reaction by Trump and by these people that were clearly sent on a mission to divide people even further? Look what the left did.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
Based off of what?
Based off that's always the deflection.
There had to be a trans involved, right?
But
it was like, yeah, there's trans. And in Discord,
he called his trans boyfriend. Oh, we told you.
Yeah,
bro. What was crazy was when Discord was like, bitch, none of that shit happened on here. Don't fucking lie and use our name. And they were like, we ain't had nothing to do with that. That didn't happen. That conversation's not real. He didn't discuss anything on us. Bro, the whole situation with Tyler Robinson, when you start breaking down like, oh, well, he was living with his parents. Oh, he was living with his trans lover. Oh, he was living with that. Oh, he was a leftist. Where all these guns come from then? Oh, well, he wasn't always like that. He just became that recently. And, oh, okay, well, somebody going to go on record? Someone going to have an interview? Like a parent want to have an interview in real life? Or are we just going to keep taking Kash Patel's word, the same Kash Patel that just tried to tell me that there is no proof Epstein was trafficking kids to fucking adults?
Same guy. And by the way, Niko, you know why the relatives of Tyler aren't talking to us? Because they know that our national security is at risk if they say anything, right? Because that's also the language we get. We get national security risk for us hearing anything about what's actually happening. Just trust us. We're doing everything behind the scenes. So every one of these things, and some of our viewers are writing into the gun, the 30-06 was definitely not the bullet. We know that. We know the crime scene being cleaned up immediately. They paved over the damn thing. They stole all the footage. It's
the
all
same shit that happened in Parkland High.
There's so much there. And I do think that I know, Pasta, we've had this debate on who to benefit. And I think that's a legitimate question. But clearly, I think we all agree on is that they were all working on this together and all in on it at some degree. Obviously, Kash Patel knows he's not doing an honest job. Is he doing it against his will? Is he doing it because he just likes lying? He just wakes up and for whatever reason, he's in on it in some degree. But we do know that Israel and the U.S. both have something to gain from this. As long as we stay compliant and we stay silent and we stay, name calling Candace Owen and name calling each other, then they get a lot to benefit from this.
Hey, Cash Patel is a bitch, Matt. That's really nobody. I mean, I just won't call it space. Like he's a bitch who is scared and is being ordered around like a little puppy dog. Yeah, he's in over his head. He doesn't realize he was picked because no matter how much he was pumping up his chest about what he would do if he became the FBI director, because they're all running the same circle. Like, boy, Cash, you ain't gonna do a goddamn thing, and that's why you're our guy. Because we know you're not gonna do shit. You're gonna do exactly what we tell you to, and you're gonna shut the fuck up about it, ain't you? Good little boy, come here. That's what happened. Because, bro, and you're right about them. They keep wanting to call out Candace, and now, of course, Tucker Carlson, right? Yeah. Because they did something that they didn't want the conservative side to know would be possible. They left the Trump economy. They left the pro-Israel. And Candace was always kind of like, she was never really super pro-Israel. Her whole thing was like, I'm going to be as anti-black as possible, and that's how I make my money. But with Tucker was kind of like not pro-Israel, but he didn't really criticize them. They both left that pro-MAGA, neocon, pro-Israel economy, and they got more famous. Yeah. And then Charlie, and so what I keep telling people is, I'm like, I don't even know if Charlie Kirk was going to abandon the pro-Israel movement because of some altruistic reason or because he legitimately was critical of how Israel was handling international relations with the U.S. and dragging us into war. I said, y'all ever consider that it was just hurting his fucking bottom line? Yeah. Like, anybody ever consider that? Because look at Candace. She left Ben Shapiro, and I'm going to be frank, guys. In no world, I don't give a damn conservative or liberal. In no world did I think somebody like Candace, who is basically pigeonholed into a box of criticizing Black people, can leave an apparatus like the one that has been handed to Ben Shapiro and become this.
Yeah.
The #1 podcast in the world.
Yeah.
And that's the woman who said, fuck Israel, criticized Donald Trump, and decided to investigate Charlie Kirk's murder. And even though it's Charlie Kirk, there are still a bunch of leftists still watching her because she's the only one who's doing the honest investigative work that they were expecting the FBI and the authorities to do, but they're not doing. Right?
I don't know about that. I really think that you guys are looking past this, that this is clearly the radical left and all the transhuman in the World Economic Forum. They're behind this. The Soros. You people need to wake up, okay? The lizard people are on our doorstep, and you're sitting there and you're blaming Israel thing. It's not. It's the radical left. Donald Trump is our savior. He's here to save us. By the way, buy my dick juice, Infowars.com. We'll see you there next show.